Hey everyone, welcome back. Welcome back to my channel Design with Pramod. By now, most of you are probably familiar with the new Figma UI, which is still in beta. One of the most exciting feature what they have introduced recently is AI. All right. But sadly, that AI feature is not yet available in India. On the top of that, many of us are still switching back and forth between the old and new UI, especially for complex tasks like creating components or exploring new workflows. In this session, I have broken down that understanding of differences between old and new UI into 6 different parts. Alright, so please watch this video till the end without skipping, and you will learn how to navigate and use the new Figma UI like a pro. The agenda is we should design together. Without a delay, let's get started. Before going to the comparison, let's try to understand how we switch from old UI to new UI. Currently, we are into the old UI, as you guys can see. By clicking on this icon, the question mark icon here at the bottom right corner, if you click on this question mark icon, it throws a couple of options here, but let's try to switch to the new UI. Again, that question mark stays there only, and you click this icon again, and that gives you options to go back to the previous UI. Right, that is how you can switch from old UI to new UI, guys. As I mentioned in the intro, I will be breaking down that into 6 parts, right? So out of that 6 parts, the first one is toolbar. All right. In the old UI, we had this toolbar on the top left corner. But if you see in the new UI, right, in the beta version, what they have this same toolbar at the bottom in the center. I will be going back to the tool and I will be showing you guys how I switch between new UI and old UI. All right. Remember one thing, in the new UI, you will have this toolbar at the bottom, and in the old UI, you had this toolbar on the top left corner. All right. Let's go back to the actual UI and try to understand how those look. Now, the first part of our understanding is the toolbar. In this old UI, the toolbar is on the top left corner, all right? But let's try to switch to the new UI. You see, this toolbar is coming at the bottom, all right? All the controls here. But in the new UI, they have added this dev mode here. But if you go back to the previous UI, right? Let's go back to the previous UI where this dev mode toggle comes. Here you go. This dev mode toggle is coming here on the top right corner. Now, let's try to understand our left side section of the Figma, where how those are differently laid out in the old UI and new UI. So you see this, this is a layer tab. If you see here, right, that layer is coming as a one section below. And in the previous UI, that was acting as a tab. But if you see here in the new UI, that is acting as a section here. That is actually a accordion kind of a thing where all the layers are given in this section only. And this is the asset tab that actually stays as a tab here in the new UI. And if you see here, this is like a search icon, right? This search icon is coming against file, or this could come against your assets. This is common between both. And here they have the search icon for layers and assets for the old UI. In the new UI, they are directly giving the project name here in this left side panel only. But in the old UI, they are giving that project name on the header of the tool. And now let's jump into the tool and try to see what difference they have. Here you go. We are currently into the old UI where you see this, right? Here they have this layers and asset section, and where all the pages are given here. And if you want to add the page from here only, you can add and all the layers. And if you switch back to the assets, right, this is switching to the assets and this is switching to the layer here. That is how it looks into the old UI. All right, let's switch to the new UI and see the difference, how that all thing looks. Yeah, here you go. We are into the new UI now. If you see here, right, that project name or what is the team name and all those things are coming here. All right, and you have your file section here, asset section here, and you see this search bar coming here. So from here only you can search. It is actually expanding and hiding that file and asset tab, and then from here only you can control all the filtering and everything here. And one more major difference what they have between old and new UI is you can actually hide this right side section and left side section. All right, I'll show you guys how you can do it. So as of now in the old UI, what you can do, you can actually click on this one and you can resize this left side panel. But if you go back to the new UI, you have this option also, and you have one icon here which will minimize your complete UI. That actually hides left panel and right panel. All right. Now let's try to understand third difference. All right. In the right side section of the Figma, this is how it looks in the old UI, where you have these two tabs, design and prototype. And if you see here in the new UI, right, this is how it looks. Both things are same, but this is one thing where they have added how much percentage of zoom in you have under your canvas. All right. This is like a position section for you, where it is kind of a alignment. If you draw any kind of a shape into the UI, how you want to align them, center line, everything. But here, if you see the new UI, they actually added one section called position, and under that only they are trying to put alignment, position, transform, everything. But here it is kind of a mixed thing, and there you go. These are kind of a little confusing for me whenever I was working with the old UI. But in the new UI, it is like a win-win thing. If you compare old UI and new UI, right, they are actually giving so many controls and so many segregation with clear understanding of what they are trying to do in old UI, and now what how they are improvising each and every section, giving the proper UX wordings against them, and how they have, if you see this difference, right, they have actually added so much prominency to all these sections. Maybe here, if you see, right, for the width, they have actually added this section. For the height also, they have actually added these borders. How you lock them, how you, all the different things, they are actually giving. Whatever you used to do in the old UI, they are actually segregating them into the proper sections. All right, now we are into the tool for comparison. Currently we are into the old UI. Let's try to draw some shape here. If I click on the shape, you see all the design specs are coming like this. So this is into the old UI. All right, and let's switch back to the new UI, and let's see how those all sections are coming here. You see all these are like properly aligned and sectionized, depends on the user's needs. All right, so this is how that design section is coming. Now let's try to understand fourth difference, and this difference is text control. When you are into the old UI, whenever you are trying to type any text, all right, and this is the example text what I highlighted and took the screenshot from there. And in the old UI, what they have these many controls to play with that text. All right, and if you see here, right, I have hidden the stroke, effect, and export, and here also I have hidden that stroke, effects, and export. But if you see, right, the difference here, how they cleanly differentiated to manage your position of that text, to manage your layout, to manage your appearance, to manage the typography, and to manage your fill and different sections altogether. And they are clean and they are neatly given. All right, that is very easily understandable for the designer, whoever is working on it. All right, that is very important part for me whenever I try to blend my layout with a advanced looking or trendy design, right. Always play with the typography, which will enhance my 50% of the look and feel. All right, and that is how the difference, the major difference it gives when you try to work with the fonts or text. Now we are into tool and we are into the old UI, and let's try to highlight this text here. And you see here that these are the controls what we have in the old UI. And if I expand the stroke section, this is how it looks. If I expand this effect section, this is how it looks. If I click on this one, this gives me a couple of controls to play with. And if I give this export option, this is how it looks. All right, and even I can export this one. And let's try to switch back to the new UI. I will show you guys how that looks. All right, now we are into the new UI, guys. And if I click on this text, this is how its segregations are coming here. The position, layout, appearance, typography, fill, all those are neatly sectionized, and those are very easy to understand when I'm working as a designer. All right, and if I expand the stroke, this is how those controls are coming here. And if I apply the effect, if I want to apply the effect on it, this is how all the effect controls are coming. And if I want to export it, these are the options how I am getting. Even I have the preview section here for this new text. So this is about the new UI and old UI, guys. Now let's try to understand the fifth difference. All right, that is like a component creation and more controls. In the old UI, if you try to draw one rectangle shape in your canvas, right, these are the controls you get. All right, so how you intersect, how you exclude, all those things you get there. And if you try to select any type of a shape there, right, or the png image or jpeg image, right, this is how you get all those controls here in the old UI. And in the old UI, these all controls will come on the top of header of the tool. All right, and if you get into the new UI and let's say you draw one rectangle, against that control, what else you can do, those all controls will be coming here. And there are like there are like primary actions what user can do, those are like exposed here. But hidden all hidden controls are given into this kebab menu. All right, in the new UI, let's imagine that you are selecting one png image or jpeg image, and these are the different actions you can do against it. All right, and this is about component creation and more. And let's try to jump into tool and let's try to understand how we work on them. Now we are into the old UI. So like I said, if we click on this one, this is our rectangle shape. All right, all the controls against that rectangle shapes are coming here. And now we are into the new UI, guys. So what we'll do, if I select this group, right, this is like a group for me. Under this group, what else things I have, those all things are shown here. And if you see here, right, these are like a primary upfront available options for the user when he's trying to select one group. But let's try to click this one and see only rectangle. Under this group, what I did, I tried to click on only this shape, and that actually gave me renaming to rectangle because we selected only rectangle. And these are the upfront available options for me to play with that rectangle. Either I can select matching layers, or I can create that as a component, or I can edit that object. All right, if I click on that edit object, these things you will get there, these extra options you will get there. And if you want to see more options, right, against, if you want to play with that rectangle, right, here you go, you have the more options to play with that in the new UI. All right, that is little bit confusing when you are new designer, but it is really good blended layout. Now let's try to understand the sixth difference, that is like assets, plugin and widgets. So in the old UI, these all are given on the header only. If you click on this little icon on the old UI, you will get these three options: components, plugins, and widgets there with your search box. But if you get into the new UI, and as you remember, that is actually these all controls are coming at the bottom, right? So from there, you have so many options to play with. You have your all tab where you have all your assets, and where you have your all plugins widgets under this tab. All right, and let's get into the app and try to see how those look. Now we are into the old UI. Let's try to click this resource icon here, from here, and that is sitting on the left side corner of the Figma. All right, and from here you can see this components, plugins, widgets, these all things are grouped here. And let's go back to the new UI. Now we are into the new UI, and now we'll click on that actions icon, and you see all the different actions you will get here. So under all section, you have, these are the common settings where you can show your rulers, where you can snap to pixel grade, where you can minimize the UI, where you can play, where you can hide and show. And this is very useful feature when you are working as a multi designer. This is very handy thing for you. If you want to enable all of them, you can enable from there, and you can see who else is working on this file. All right, if you, and if that is disturbing you, you can check them on and off from here. And in the new UI, this is very important thing where you need to learn about the shortcuts. From this section, you can learn all different types of shortcuts from here. All right, and if you get to the assets, you will see all the different assets available for you. If you get into the plugins and widgets, you will see all the different plugins are managed for you here. under this section the same way what we had in the previous UI. All right. And that is all about Figma old and new UI comparison, guys. Please do like, share, and subscribe and support. Thanks for watching.